guys, I am so excited. Just super excited to be here. Super excited to, oh my goodness, these messages. Hold on. Let me see if I can ixnay those for just a second. Okay. So, welcome to our training. My name is Vanessa Rowe. I am the director of the Social Butterflies. I've been with Scentsy for 7 years. It is my full-time career, and I'm just super excited to share with you guys tonight. Hello, Patty. Hello, Lindsay. How's it going, guys? Just FYI, we're covering a lot, so I'll try. I always talk fast. I don't even know what I'm going to say. I'll try to talk fast because I do. Recording will be posted. If you are catching the replay, please hashtag replay in the comments below so we know that you are catching this. I have notes. Highly recommend you get paper, pencil, or whatever you prefer for taking your own notes. You may or may not need a tissue. I can't say because that's up to you, but we'll get a little emotional here because I'm a very raw, very real person. Hello, Lindsay, my other Lindsay darling. I have met both Lindsays in Disney at the pool, and gosh, my life has been better since knowing you both. So, welcome. I'm super excited to have you here, so let me go ahead and get started. So first thing I wanted to cover is my outfit. I am a very authentic person. I'm very real, and there's a lot of days where I don't wear makeup. This is leftover makeup from yesterday. I don't do my hair. I recently had a really bad haircut, so it's just up all the time right now. And so headbands. I'm a big headband fan, but I specifically wore this one for you guys tonight. It has sharks on it. Now, the reason why I wear a shark headband to a Scentsy training, you're like, what the heck is this up with this girl Vanessa? So, anyways, a shark. If you've ever heard this, maybe you've heard it called like the goldfish theory. I like to refer to it as sharks because sharks are fierce. But essentially, if you put a shark in a very small tank, it will only grow as big as it can within that tank. If you put it in a slightly larger tank, it will grow. If you put it in a huge tank, it will grow. If you throw that sucker in the ocean, he will grow to his full potential, and some sharks really don't ever stop growing, just like they never stop having teeth. So my friends, I want you to be a shark. From the get-go, this is what we're talking about. You need to be a shark. I'm a shark. Shark means you have no limits. You decide what size tank you live in. You want to live in a small tank and be small about your business, go for it. But I'm not going to. My limits expand the size of the ocean. I have no limits. That is how I have got to where I am in life and in business. So my friends, be a shark. The next thing I wore is a shirt that says, live a great story. This just means I want you to live a story worth telling. A story filled with so many ups and just as many downs, because if we're totally honest, you can't find success without failure. You can't enjoy the great things without the bad times, because everything is temporary. Those great times are temporary, so cherish them while you have them. Those bad times, while as hard as they are still temporary. So just sit down, buckle up, be ready for the ride, and know that this is not a permanent place. These bad times will pass. So starting from there, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am 26 years old on Monday. I live in Cleveland, Ohio, and I love Scentsy. Love Scentsy. It's my whole life. It's my passion. It's my career. It fills my cup. I joined Scentsy in May of 2014. I had been purchasing for my best friend for a year, and I just joined because she wouldn't shut up. Like, I'm not at all joking. I bought from her all the time, and she'd tell me, you need to just join and do this with me. And I said, no. You need to just join because you're having parties all the time. No. You need to join because you're finding me customers and sending me business. No. You need to join because you'd make a discount on your own products. No. You need to join because you'd make commission on your own products. No. I gave her every excuse under the sun. I'm not a salesperson. I don't know enough people. I'm no good at this. I simply don't want to. And my best friend is a persistent woman, and she just kept asking to the point that I eventually was like, whatever, anything to shut you up, just stop asking, please. And I was like, she's like, okay, cool, we're signing up right now. I was like, no. Like, I'll do it when I get home. She was like, no, you won't. I know that as soon as you go home, you just won't do it. So you need to do it right now in front of me. And I had no idea what that was going to do for my life, because at the time I was 18 years old. I was in college to be a teacher, a early childhood educator, which is pre-K through 3 here in Ohio. And I was riding horses. So I was like, screw it, whatever. If it's just like extra horse money while I'm in college or while I'm a teacher, because teaching's cheap, you don't get paid enough, and horses are expensive. So I was like, whatever, fine. I never, ever imagined I would do something with this business. I never imagined that I'd become a leader. I never in a million years thought I wouldn't be a teacher. Holy heck, did my whole life change. So, that being said, I worked 3 jobs. I was in school full time. I was graduated with high honors, and I had a Scentsy business. What? It was so wild. My whole life was just super crazy. But I joined, and I'll tell you that first year was nothing but struggles. Back then, in 2014, your requirements to stay a consultant was 150 PRV once in a month, and you were good for 3 months. I'll tell you, I was up for termination, ready to cancel every 3 months. I had zero support. My family did not support my business. Many of my friends did not support my business. I had a few coworkers that ordered every once in a while, and I'm saying that pretty loosely, but that was it. So I came at this and I was like, wow, okay, didn't hit shooting star. Didn't hit sensational start levels. Took me a dang long time to certify because I was putting in the bare minimum, and most of the time I was placing my own orders to get to that, because every single 3 months I'd be like, why am I doing this? I feel discouraged. I feel like I'm not gaining anything out of this. I just keep ordering more Scentsy. Why am I doing this? But then this little Vanessa inside me, this gut feeling just said, something good's gonna come out of this. Just don't quit. No matter what you do, don't quit. It'll be fine. And I didn't. And so that first year came and I failed. And I failed, and I failed, and I failed, and I was up for termination, right? And finally, I had a few people do a party, and then I was in the middle of that party, and the hostess joined. Didn't ask me about it, didn't mention anything at all, but I just got this email late at night, I think it was like 11 p.m., saying, congratulations on your first recruit. And I was like, what? No. I want nothing to do with that whatsoever. No. I messaged my sponsor and I said, Cassandra, no. Like, take her back. Like, I don't want her. Can you have her? Like, I don't want her. I don't even know what the heck I'm doing. How am I supposed to train somebody else to be successful in this when I'm floundering? I'm so failing. It's ridiculous. Like, I should write a book about how bad I'm doing, and this person's on my team. Hello, what do you even do about that? This is way before the days where like party flipping was easy. Like, I could not transfer these orders to her. Like, there was just no way, because Scentsy's come a very long way in these last 7 years. It's crazy. So anyways, I grow a team, and it actually encouraged me to do better with my business. You know, where I made excuses, I then was like, well, I kind of have to do well because this girl's counting on me. And, you know, things were crazy. I really wasn't giving Scentsy 2 bats of an eye because I was in school full time and I had other jobs and I had everything going on, and it did not come easy for me whatsoever. And I've never traveled before. I grew up in a very broken home. We were in poverty. My mother was an abusive alcoholic. All of the men she was with were abusive alcoholics. Most of them were on drugs. I have experienced every level of abuse you can imagine, and it was rough. So you can imagine I probably had never been on a vacation, and I did not. And my friend looked at me and she's like, hey, there's this thing called Scentsy Family Reunion, and I think we should go. And I usually just say like whatever to appease her. I'm like, yeah, whatever. She goes, okay, cool, it's in Vegas. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, no, like it's a convention. You get on a plane, you get a hotel, you go to Vegas. And I was like, no. Never been on a plane, never stayed in a hotel, never been on a vacation, don't want to go to Vegas. No, nada. Nope, no, don't even, no. Somehow, my very persuasive, loving best friend talked me into it. I said yes. I was nervous as heck. You had no, oh gosh, that was rough. But here I am on a plane, ready to cry, also ready to poop my pants on my way to Vegas. And here we are going to this thing, and I'm just like, whatever. Who am I? I'm a lead consultant. I have a very small team. It's just me. I fail a lot. I had zero self-confidence. I had zero love. I had zero self-respect. I didn't love who I was, and I felt like very much a shell of myself, and I was very inauthentic because I thought that I had to be what everyone thought I was. And I used to get made fun of for how extra and loud I was and how excited I'd get about things. So that Vanessa was long, long, long gone. But here I am walking into this Scentsy family reunion in Vegas 2015 as nothing but a lead consultant. Nothing crazy. I walk into this room and I'm like, whoa, this is a lot. This is very overwhelming. But I noticed this. This was my first experience of acceptance and authenticity in Scentsy. And I walked into this room as a 19-year-old girl from a very broken home who was always told that she was not enough, that she wasn't good enough, she wasn't pretty enough, she was never going to do anything with her life. All of these terrible things. My whole life I'd heard this, right? So I walk into this room and I look around and I say, wow, there's people with purple hair and their hair is done up like they're going to a wedding, and people with their hair in messy buns, and there's people in ball gowns and tutus, and there's people in jeans and a t-shirt. And I walked around and I looked in this room and I really, really just reflected, and I said, wow, if all of these people can come exactly as they are in their most authentic selves and just come and not be judged and just be loved and welcomed with open arms by so many other people. And I sat in this room and I started crying and I said, if these people can walk in here and they can be loved and accepted for who they are, their most authentic version of themselves, I wonder if I could too. And for me, that hit very hard, because that was the first time in my life that I had ever thought that I could be loved and accepted for who I am. So that was a very big aha moment, not only in my business, but in my life, right? And here we are the very next day in a general session. We're ending things up. They're announcing where the next SFR is. And I'm like, wow, this is so great. I don't ever want to miss one again. Find out we're going to Nashville. Cool, awesome, whatever. Then they announced what the next incentive trip is. And I wasn't ready. Goosebumps. I wasn't ready for this. Was absolutely 1000% not ready to hear what they were going to say. And my best friend and I are holding hands and we're so excited because it's a free trip. As a girl who grew up in poverty, free and trip are two words that don't go together. And I'm like, no way. Like, there's no way that there's anything I could do to get myself on this trip. But anyways, here we are sitting in this room, learning what the trip is. And they announce we're going to Walt Disney World next year. And for those of you that don't know me, Disney's a very big part of my life. And my dad had passed when I was 5 years old, and he had taken my older siblings, who are half siblings, so not his children, to Disney World, married my mother right outside while they were in Disney World. And he, when I was little, would constantly take me to the Disney store, and I was always in Disney dresses and constantly dressed up. And Disney was a very big part of his life. And in turn, it had become a very large part of my own life. So to be able to sit in this room, and as this very broken girl who was never enough, I was like, this is my only chance. I may never, as a teacher living on a teacher's salary, I may never be able to afford to go to Disney. I have to make this work. And I just started bawling my eyes out. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it. And my best friend, who's known me since I was 5 years old, she knew how big this was, and she instantly started sobbing, and we're crying together, we're holding hands, we're hugging, and we said, no matter what it takes, we need to get there together. And I'll tell you, my friends, we did exactly that. I earned my very first incentive trip that year. 2016, we went to Walt Disney World. And I'll tell you, there is no vacation like a Scentsy vacation. You'll never experience anything in your life. You can travel the world all the time, and I'll tell you, there's no trip like a Scentsy trip, because this is what happens. We went to Walt Disney World. They paid for our flights, right? They paid for us to stay at the Beach and Yacht Club, which is one of the most prestigious hotels on Disney's property. They left us presents. They call them room drops. They left us presents in our room, on our bed, every day while we were away at the parks. They fed us several times. We had a character brunch with Frozen characters. They had given us a per diem, like a spending amount of money for like food and stuff while we were in the parks. They had given us park passes, hopper passes, so we can jump from park to park. They had given us fast passes so that we could skip lines. They had special events for us. We had an exclusive Phantasmic event with nothing but Scentsy people. We had an Indiana Jones show with nothing but Scentsy people. We had after hours access to Hollywood Studios, like after everything was closed. We had a fireworks show, everything was closed, and it was nothing but Scentsy consultants. And that is something that you don't experience if you go to Disney on your own. None of those things. That trip was something I never would be able to afford, especially at that age. So that was crazy for me. But was even more important than going to Disney, than fulfilling a dream, than getting all the accolades, it was meeting new people. And some of the people that I met on that trip, I still talk to on such a regular basis. I love them dearly. One of them being Jessica Brindley. I don't know if you know her, but I met her the day before she got engaged on a boat during the fireworks in Disney. And since then, we've become great friends. She's expecting her first babe. And I know all about her life, and she knows about my life. And every time we see each other at Scentsy events, it's like, when you go to a family reunion, they call it Scentsy Family Reunion for a reason. So that is huge, huge, huge. Okay, so I'll tell you this. The real reward is not the trip. 1000%, I'm not even joking. I know you're like, I need to get to Alaska. That is a bucket list trip. The reward's not the trip. The reward is how much your business grows as a result of trying to earn that trip. So guys, hear me out here. The only way that I earned that trip was because I was willing to work differently. Because what happens is if you work the same way, you're never going to find different results. In order to obtain different results, you're going to have to work differently. You're going to have to show up in a different way. Maybe that's more consistently, or in a more intense way, or in a more intentional way, or more efficiently, but you have to show up differently. Now, I'll tell you guys this. Working towards an incentive trip is flippin' hard. It is one of the hardest things you'll do because it's a mental game. Just like working out is. I'm an avid person. I believe in self-care. I believe in working out. I think it's huge. Therefore, I'll tell you, working out's a mental game because your mind gives up way before your body does. Your mind will tell you to quit. It will tell you, you can't do this. You can't earn this trip. You can't hit that many parties. You can't have that high of PRV. You can't have that many people join. But just as soon as you recognize that, you say, no. That's my head lying to me. That's my brain lying to me. I can do this. I will make this happen. And that's how you earn an incentive trip. Now, my friends, I'll tell you. I said before, you can't find success unless you find failure. Failure is never a bad thing. Failure just means you get back up and you try again. But in a different way, because if something didn't work, you're not going to keep doing the same thing. That's the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over and over again, but expecting a different result. All failure does is teach you, hey, stop, that didn't work. Try again. Get back up. You got this. It doesn't mean that you're stuck. When you fail, when a kid is learning to walk, that little kid doesn't fall once and then say, oh, no, I'm never walking. You're just going to have to carry me my whole life because I'm never trying to walk again because I fell. Kids don't work like that. Kids get up and they fall. And they fall 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 and they fall. And eventually they learn how to walk. And eventually they learn how to ride a bike. And eventually you learn how to drive a car. Right? All of these things have required failure. You failed your whole life and you're doing pretty dang great. Look at where you're at, because I'm sure of it that you're doing a pretty damn good job where you're at because you have failed so many times. So I'll tell you in my business, here it is. I earned that trip. I promoted from lead to superstar consultant, right? The next year, we got really close to director, and we were less than 200 GWV away from promoting. It wrecked me. It uprooted everything. I started to question my life, question myself as a leader, question myself as a consultant, question my dreams, my goals, everything. And I failed. I failed and I failed and I failed, and I let it control me for a long time. And then as things turned up, they do, because you work hard, because every time you fail, you just have to look at it as an opportunity to show up in a different way and try something new. That following year, I hit director. I thought it was the best thing in the whole entire world. I was a director. I was in the top 1%. I had this prestigious title. And I'll tell you what, I lost it. I totally did. I was in director. I went down to director Q. I'd get my title back. I'd go down. I'd get my title back. I'd go down. I'd get my title back. I'd go down. And then in 2019, I dropped down to a superstore consultant. So that's the only title in Scentsy you can lose. And I'll tell you, lots of failures, lots of up and downs. That's a whole nother training to talk about. But I questioned everything. I lost my title as a director. I wasn't enough. As a leader, as a consultant, as a person, I questioned everything, right? And I had people tell me, you're not alone. The answer to get you out of this is the same thing that people told me for 2 years. The reason why you're not finding consistency in your numbers, the reason why you're not seeing growth is because you're not focusing on expanding. You're not focusing on networking. Because I wasn't branching out. As soon as I started growing up in titles, I stopped recruiting. As soon as I hit director, I stopped partying. Holy heck, is that the worst thing you could ever do for your business, by the way, is stop partying. So that's what I did. And I finally listened. I got over my pride. I got over my pity party, because that's what I did. I threw myself a pity party about how bad I was doing and how I was never going to amount to anything. And eventually I woke myself up and said, Vanessa, one of two options. You quit and throw everything away that you worked hard for. Or two, you pull up your big girl panties and you do the damn thing. And that's what I did. And I said, fine, I'm going to watch what everyone does. I'm going to watch. I'm going to figure this out. And what did everyone do? Parties. Parties and expand their customer base, which is also known as networking. Guys, I have not earned every trip. I have earned 3 trips. Disney World, a Mediterranean cruise, which was so incredible, and I took my boyfriend, and it was seriously a dream trip. And then the Walt Disney World again last year, where I met your beloved superstar director. Now, let me tell you this. The reason why I didn't earn those other trips is because of 3 things. I was doubting myself, I made excuses, and I didn't show up. Those 3 things. Doubt, excuses, not showing up. Okay? You, my friend, you, the one listening to this, you are in control of those 3 things. You are in control of making excuses or not. You are in control of doubting yourself or believing in yourself. And you are in control of how much you show up. Consistently, by the way. Consistently is a huge deal. So, when life happens, as it will, because remember, everything's temporary. Those great times only last so long, so cherish them. Those bad times are only going to last so long. So buckle up, push through it, you got this. When life happens, you can throw in the towel, right? You can put Scentsy on the back burner, or you can quit altogether. Or you can pick up that kit, and you can allow it to bless your life. Because I'll tell you, your first instinct is going to be to put Scentsy on the back burner. But why would you do that when it could add so much value to you, to your family, to your home life, to your finances, to your mental health, to your friendships? It can bless you in more ways than you even realize. So don't put down that kit. Pick it up when you think that you don't have time. Make the time. I'm telling you, it's going to do so many beautiful things. Because what happened is I relaunched my business. I stopped working my business because I struggled. I lost my title. I struggled with homelessness for a fat minute there, guys. And that's something I don't even want to cry about, so I'm not even going to go into it. But I struggled with being homeless for a minute there, okay? I lost my job as a bartender when COVID hit, because COVID hit and nobody knew what was going on. And then all of a sudden we went into shutdown, and then restaurants were closed. And we didn't know if or when they would open back up. I didn't know if or when the restaurant I worked for 5 years was going to open back up again, because I never went into teaching, by the way, guys. Anyways, so I was in a toxic work environment. I had everything. I was finally feeling great. I was ready to revamp. I had the best month I've had in my whole career with Scentsy, as in PRV and in my team sales and everything else. And then the month after that, COVID hit. And then the rug was ripped right out from front of me. Because I'll tell you, my journey with Scentsy, and anyone's journey in life, is up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. No one's line of success looks like this. Success is not a straight line up. It is up, down, up, down. You have those ups and you cherish them when you have them. And you have those dips. And when you're in those dips, you just remind yourself, what can I learn from this? And it's not permanent. I'm not stuck here. So how can I work to get back up? That is how you push through your cycle with Scentsy, your cycle with life in general, because I'll tell you, that doesn't end at just your business. That's huge. So here I was, COVID, losing my job, got into a really bad headspace. And I am not anyone that's ever struggled with depression. And I thought for a minute there I was. I was like, okay, how are we going to survive? And I looked at myself the same way I've done several times before, and I said one of two things, Vanessa. You quit. You throw away everything you've worked hard for the last 6 years, or you put those big girl panties on and you do the damn thing. And I'll tell you what, I did the damn thing. After lots of tears, lots of breakdowns, and lots of questioning everything. And I said, I can sorrow and wallow in my own sorrows and sit in my own tears and have the biggest pity party the world's ever seen. Or I can focus this energy on something productive, like my business, that can bless my life, that can bless other people's lives, and truly make a difference. And I'll tell you that's what I did. So every time that I get to these bottom points, I want you to look up Vernice Flygirl Armor. Vernice, that's Vernice, Vernice Flygirl. She was one of our speakers at an SFR. By the way, I have not missed an SFR since. It is the most impactful thing you will ever see in your business. However, Vernice Flygirl Armor had a little old grandma. And her little old grandma, every time something bad would happen, she'd go, ooh, something good is going to come out of this. And that is what she would say every time. Ooh, something good is going to come out of this. And as Vernice had gone through all of these hardships in her life, she would say, something good is going to come out of this. And I encourage you to say the same thing. Every time that life gets dark and life happens and you're in that dip, I want you to say, ooh, something good is going to come out of this. Because it will. It always will. Something good is going to come out of this. So buckle up. Tell yourself that where you're at is not permanent. And remember that you can gain something from this. What is this meant to teach you? How is this going to help you grow? So I've talked about failures, right? But what did go right? Let me tell you all of the amazing things that have come out of Scentsy. I never quit. No matter how hard it got and no matter how much I wanted to, I never ever quit. And I encourage you to do the same thing. I don't care how upside down life is. Never ever quit. Your business or yourself. Never quit on yourself because you deserve it. You deserve to make your dreams happen. You deserve to do big things. You deserve to show up for yourself because when you go to bed at the end of the night, it's you. I don't care if you're sleeping next to someone or you're next to kids or anything, because at the end of the night, when everything's quiet, it's just you. It is just you in your head. So you deserve it, and you owe it to yourself to not quit on yourself. You deserve better than that, so don't quit. The next thing, I was supported and I gained countless lifelong friendships and connections through Scentsy. Listen, support was something I never had in my whole life. Not through family. I had very few friends, those that did support me, but not the way that Scentsy people support and love on me. So the connections you'll make and the friendships you'll gain from this is something you could never ever put a price on. I've heard people say that they would never collect a paycheck as long as they lived from Scentsy, so long as they had those friendships. That's how powerful they are. Number 3, I gained self-confidence, self-respect, self-love. I'll tell you, no one's born with confidence. Confidence is something you gain from going through the trenches. You only gain confidence when you fail, when you fall down, when you feel like there's no hope. That's when confidence is built, right? Guys, a lotus flower grows through the mud. It goes through the most disgusting, hardest growing conditions, and yet out comes the most beautiful flower. That is self-confidence. You are capable of that because you deserve that, my friend. Number 4, I have inspired people. My goal as a teacher, which I didn't end up going into, by the way, because of paycheck reasons and hours. Anyways, as a teacher, my whole career would have been chalked up as a success in my mind if I made a difference in one child's life. Because teachers did that for me. They made a difference in my life. So my only goal as an educator was to make a difference in someone else's life. I didn't care who it was. I don't care how much of a difference it was. I just wanted to make a difference. And I'll tell you, I had this epiphany moment at Scentsy Director Boot Camp, which, by the way, if you haven't gone, highly recommend. And I was sitting outside in the outskirts of the room with Annie Price, and we looked in, and we were just chatting, and I looked around, and here are some of the best leaders around. Here's Heidi and Orville and our home office staff and other leaders that are directors that I look up to, ones that I just met, ones that are incredible rock stars. And I sat in this room with them, and I'm standing on the outside with Annie, and I had this moment where I said, Scentsy is my vessel. In Scentsy, I can make a difference in the lives of others just like I could when I was in education as a teacher. And that was an aha moment for me, because I said at that very moment, if I can make a difference in the lives of others through Scentsy, I can turn this into a career. Hands down, no questions asked. That was a very emotional moment for me, very pivotal point in my life and in my business. But I have inspired people not from my success, but from my failure. And you might think to yourself, I can relate to that. I failed a lot. I'm up for termination, or I didn't hit shooting star, I didn't hit sensational star, I lost my title. People relate to the failures. The reason why I'm successful is because I failed time and time again, but because I persevered and I picked myself up every time I failed. And you know what? I'm going to keep failing. I'm going to fail the rest of my life, and I can't wait for it, because that's going to be how I grow. That's going to be how I can relate to people, and they can relate to me, and I can inspire them. Listen, this business turned into a career. Hello, Full-Time Scentsy, June 11th, 2021. Left the restaurant industry, left my teaching days behind, turned this into a career. I work Scentsy full-time. This is the most freedom I've ever had in my whole life, and I have never, ever been happier. But I'll tell you, life-changing doesn't have to be a career change. Life-changing could be an extra $200 a month, an extra car payment, getting out of debt, going on a vacation, saving up for retirement, saving up for college, whatever it is. Life-changing things happen through Scentsy. Ready? Number 6, I live a no limits lifestyle. I have a positive, open mindset. No limits here for this, sister. Shark over here. You be a shark with me. I live no limits. When someone says, but how high can you go? Why would I ask that? As high as I could, I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going up. I'm just going to keep growing and keep working and keep bettering myself, because I'm never going to get to a point where I say, this is good enough. No. Never. I will celebrate everything I have. I will practice active gratitude for all that I have achieved, all that I have, that I used to wish for, that I used to pray for. But I'm never going to say, I can't ever go higher. I can't ever do better. I can't ever be better, because I live a no limits lifestyle. And I practice gratitude. I have a positive mindset. I've retrained my brain, because I used to hate myself. I used to have lots of negative self-talk, lots of negative thoughts that popped in my head, but a daily conscious effort has helped me outgrow that. Number 7. This is one of the most important things. This is something you're going to relate to, and this is something Incentive Trips will do for you. A love for travel. The girl that had never been in a hotel, that have never been on a flight, is obsessed with travel. I have a whole wall in my living room of nothing but paintings. I collect local art every time I travel somewhere. That wall is nothing but local art. I have gone on anywhere from 2 to 8 vacations a year since being with Scentsy. I'm telling you, it's so incredible. You lose yourself and find yourself all at the same time, all through adventure. There's just so much you can gain from it, and I'll tell you that's this. All right, now here's this, my friends. Ready? How the hell do I earn a trip? Because I've sold you on it. I used to say I was not a salesperson. I'll tell you all day I could sell you on anything. I would sell you a grain of salt. You'd pay 10 grand for it, right? I've sold you on Scentsy. I've sold you on earning a trip. So here we are. You ready? How the hell do I earn an incentive trip? 3 things: parties, follow-up, and recruiting, also known as sponsoring, which is also growing a team. You need to, number 1, set a goal, okay? Then you need to break that goal down. So maybe you're shooting for level 2 of our trip. Level 2 of that trip is 25,000 points. 4,500 of those points are sponsoring points. Sponsoring points come from new recruits hitting promotions. You hitting promotions. I'll tell you this. You ready? You, as a brand new consultant, just joined yesterday, just joined a year ago, certified, lead, star. You, my friend, have an easier time earning this incentive trip than I do. Want to know why? You have opportunities to grow so much. You have opportunities to hit these promotion points. You're growing a team anyways. You are sitting here and you're like, I never thought I could do all this with Scentsy, but Vanessa, flippin' row, I am ready. I want to take as much as I can from the Scentsy business. I want to earn the dang trip. I want to be there because you're going to give me a fat hug as soon as you're there. I'm going on that boat, are you? Because you have a better chance of earning this than I do. You have more promotion points to do it. Scentsy makes this so easy for a brand new consultant to earn a free trip. Other than those scammy timeshares, I don't know of any other opportunity you'd have other than maybe winning the lottery. Slim to none chance of that happening for you to earn a free trip. You need to get uncomfortable. Old ways are not going to open up new doors. So do things that you've never done before. Okay? Parties. Find a party type that works for you. There's millions out there. There's spa parties. There's home parties. There's sips and sniffs. There's craft parties. There's bingo parties, which, by the way, I'm a queen of bingo parties. Check out my YouTube. All the info's there. Bingo parties. There's 30-minute live parties. There's parties where people just borrow your testers. There's sample pack parties. There are millions of types of parties out there. You just got to find the one that works for you and party your ass off. Sorry, guys, I wasn't going to swear at all, but I'm a swearer. And it's just happening. I'm just passionate. I'm like, woo! Yes! Parties. Find what works for you. Stick to it. Party your ass off. Party your ass off. Party so hard because that is how you gain new customers. That is how you grow your PRV. That is how you grow your customer base. That's how you get new recruits. You ask every single party host if they would like to flip their party and join Scentsy. Because Scentsy is a blessing. It is a gift that you get to offer to somebody else. Hey, how often in any other profession do you get to say, here's a gift I'm giving you that could change your life forever? I don't think you can think of anything. There is not many jobs where you can say, here's a gift that can change your life forever. That's Scentsy. Every time you offer that opportunity, that's what you're doing. So change your mindset and think of it like that. Offer the opportunity to every single party host. Get bookings off of bookings to keep expanding that customer base. Keep increasing your PRV. Keep meeting new people so you can ask them to join your team so you can bless so many lives and you can make such a difference on this world through that alone, my friends. Next up, follow up. Following up is good customer service. You are not bothersome. If you are bothersome, someone's going to tell you. Simple as that. If they ignore you, probably they're just busy. They forgot to respond because their child is scaling the cabinets. They forgot to respond because the cat's on the table. They forgot to respond because the dog's in the garbage can. They forgot to respond because people have the memory of goldfish, right? Truth. There's no excuse for you not following up a minimum of 1 time a week. If you don't have a follow-up system, that's your goal after tonight. You're going to go on YouTube. You're going to type in Scentsy follow-up system. You're going to look at Sell with Amy. You're going to look at Binder systems. You're going to look at Excel docs. You're going to look at Trello. You're going to look at all these different systems until you find what works for you. Because one of Scentsy's core values is authenticity. And the only system that works is the one that you actually use. So find a follow-up system, utilize it, and make sure you actually use it consistently. Minimum of once a week, otherwise you're not going anywhere with Scentsy. I hate to be the tough lover, but it's true. Next up, recruiting or sponsoring. Look for trainings. If you don't know how to do this, guess what? Chances are you can learn how. Because there are trainings out there in the workstation, probably in this group, and on YouTube. Who to ask, how to ask them, when to ask them, and why to ask them. Ready, guys? Recruiting, follow-up, and parties. That's how you earn an incentive trip. You set a goal. So for example, you want to sell 12,000 PRV in 6 months to earn this trip. That breaks down to 2,000 PRV a month. 2,000 PRV a month broken down is really just 2 to 4 parties, plus some follow-up, maybe some orders from LTO. Maybe you got some Scentsy Club subscribers and there you are, right? If you're looking for 5,000 recruiting points so you can earn this trip, that equals 5 new recruits to certify. In order to have 5 new recruits, that's 5 different parties flipped. So that means that one recruit per month. You flip their party, they hit certified, there it is. You just break these goals down into small, achievable things. 5 parties booked is just asking 10 people. Every 10 people are probably going to book a party. Every 10 people you ask are probably going to join your team. You just have to get out there and ask. Get out of your head. Get out of your own damn way. Because I'll tell you this. You may say, oh God, what if they think I'm this? Oh God, what if that? What ifs don't matter. It doesn't matter what they think of you. It doesn't matter if they ignore you. It doesn't matter if they say no. None of that matters, because the only thing that matters is that you have great intentions and you are offering a gift to change someone's life. Hello? That's incredible work. That is such a humongous thing that you get to do through this business, my friends. That is it. So, you're going to tell me, but what if they say no? But what if they say yes? Have you ever been to a restaurant? Guys, I was a bartender for 5 years. You go to a restaurant as a server, as a bartender. My goal is to squeeze as much money out of you as possible. Not going to lie. So I'm going to offer you drinks. I worked in a very high-end restaurant. That's where I met the love of my life. Thank God for him. But I worked in restaurants. The first thing I offered, hey, can I get you started off with a bottle of wine? Maybe you don't like wine, so you say no to wine. Maybe you don't want to commit to a whole bottle, so I offer you glasses. Maybe you don't like it at all, so I offer you cocktails, right? Maybe you're just drinking water because you're driving that night. Am I offended because you said no to wine? No, not even close. Next up, get your drinks to you. Okay, can I get you started off with an appetizer? Our calamari is fantastic. Maybe you say no to an appetizer because you don't like calamari. Maybe you say no to an appetizer because you're just not that hungry. So you say no. Am I going to stop there and go hide in the closet and cry because you said no to calamari? Hell no. Next up, hey, can I get you started off with some super salad? Our lobster bisque is known to be the best in the city. Maybe you're allergic to dairy. Maybe you don't like lobster bisque. Maybe you just want to skip to the main course. Am I going to be offended because you said no? Not even close. We order dinner. You ask for a steak. I offer mashed potato. I offer blue cheese, onions, or mushrooms for add-on prices. I ask if you want to add on a lobster tail to that. You're going to say no. Am I offended because you said no? That's funny. You're funny if you think I'm offended over that. I'm going to ask you after dinner if you want coffee or dessert. You're going to be so full that you say no. Am I upset because you said no? No. I give you your bill and I move on to the next table. Because guess what? When you say no to each of those individual things, are you saying no to me as a person? Is it personal in any way? Not even close. But if I never asked if you wanted a bottle of wine, or appetizers, or lobster bisque, or lobster tail with your steak, or coffee and dessert afterwards, the answer is no. If I don't ask you if you want those things, chances are you're probably going to say no to all of those things. And if I ask all those questions and you said yes to everything, your check is going to be 3 times higher than it would have been if I didn't ask. And now I'll tell you, as a server, of course I did it for money. But the other thing was that I wanted to offer an experience. I wanted you to come here, but I also wanted you to have such a good time that you told all your friends, you need to go here because I had the most incredible experience with my wife. I took her out for dinner at the Blue Point Grill downtown. Vanessa took care of us and everything was flawless. So yes, I sold that person on all of those things. However, I offered incredible customer service because I followed up and checked on every course to make sure that they enjoyed everything. I offered those extra things to see if that would be something they'd be interested in. And I offered kindness and love. Friends, is that not exactly what we do with Scentsy? If they say no, there's nothing wrong with that. They're going to say no to ordering, to parties, to joining, but no doesn't always mean no forever. And the other thing is that there's always more. There was always more tables to wait on. There's always more people to ask, to buy, host, and join. That's Scentsy. Get out of your head. Get out of your way. Live a no limits lifestyle, guys. Be a shark with me. Live a story. Live a great story worth telling. Inspire people with all of your failures because they're going to happen. Embrace them. Appreciate them. Be thankful for them. Be thankful for what you have. Active gratitude means that you appreciate and are grateful for the things you have now that you used to wish and pray for. You don't forget about it and just focus on what's next. You appreciate those things while you have them. Hard times are going to happen. Don't set down your kit. Pick it up from the Debbie Pitts Palmer DPP, my girl. Pick that kit up. Don't throw Scentsy on the back burner. You're going to do incredible things. You're going to want to quit your business during this incentive trip through life. You're going to want to quit. And I'll tell you, nothing good ever comes out of quitting. Ever. So don't quit on yourself. You deserve better than that. You're going to want to quit this incentive and you're going to get discouraged, but I want you to say stop. Every time that you're like, I give up, I quit, I can't do this. You can. I am living proof. And I'll tell you, I'm not anything special when it comes to what I do in my business. I'm special. I'll tell you, I think I'm incredible. I want you to feel the same way about yourself, but here's this. If I can do it, you can do it. If I can do these things, if I can do the hard things and fail and earn a trip and lose my title and gain it back and inspire women and men all over the world, you can do that same thing, because what I have is nothing special. I just love. I love people. I love them hard. If you can just focus on that, loving yourself and loving others, you're going to do amazing things with this business. So my friends, I can't wait to see you in Alaska, because I'm going to be there with my beloved. You're going to meet Kevin. He's the greatest thing ever. He's so funny. You're going to meet me, and I want you to come up to me, and I want you to say, Vanessa, hey, I watched your training. I made it. Here I am on this trip, and I'm going to say, I'm so proud of you. You did it. Way to go, my friends. And remember, even if you don't earn this trip, if you work towards it and don't earn it, the real reward is not the trip. The real reward is how much your business grows. And that growth in your business lasts way longer than that week-long cruise. So just remember that. I hope you have an incredible rest of your night, incredible rest of your week. You've got this. So don't doubt yourself. Live a no limits lifestyle of open-mindedness, positivity, and gratitude. I think you're incredible. Thank you so much, and I love you. Have a good one, guys.